Hello, my name is Marcus McCartney, OSU Extension Educator for Washington County, and welcome back to our Quarantine Gardening series. Today we'll be talking about another vegetable favorite of folks to plant in their garden, and that is our pepper plants. That's one of my favorites too, because there's many varieties that you can get, and it makes it exciting. You know, from different shapes to different tastes and different flavors, from our big square bell-shaped peppers to our little tiny sweet snacking peppers to our hot ghost or chili peppers. So peppers are one of our favorites. Now, just like tomatoes, we have hybrids and we have heirlooms. I have two hybrids here. Okay, I got the little sweet snacking peppers called Yum Yums, one of my favorite snacking peppers. And then I have one of our favorites, more common you'll see in all the garden centers, like Bob's and Greenleaf. This is our bell type peppers, our big green bell peppers. And these are hybrids. An example of an heirloom pepper, my favorite is called Corno de Toro, which means horn of the bulls. And it is, just like it says, it's a big horn-shaped pepper, but it's very sweet, very good pepper. Okay, so when I go to the garden center to find my pepper plants, I'm going to look for the pack that has really no diseases on it. And I don't want to find any leaves. The last thing I want to do is have a leaf that has a spot and bring it back to my garden, maybe infect other plants. So I want to find the most healthiest looking plant, and I don't want my plants to have any flowers or fruit on them already, because what will happen when I transplant this pepper plant will put its energy into producing that fruit. And I don't want that to happen. I want this pepper plant to put its energy into establishing its root system and then growing up top and then producing fruit and flowers. So I got my pepper plant. This one looks pretty healthy. I don't see any diseases on it. Unlike our tomatoes, where we planted that first node where these cotyledon leaves are, seed leaves, this one for the peppers, we're going to plant right at the soil level. And just like everything else, you want to kind of break these roots up a little bit, kind of tease them out. Because where they form in the container here, they got that little square, and I don't want them to form in that square. I want them to be able to spread out into my pot. Typically with container plants, 4 gallons would be suffice for a pepper, but we got a 5-gallon plant here, or 5-gallon bucket here, so we're going to go with it. And spread it apart. I'm going to plant it nice and level. In our garden situation, you want to plant pepper plants probably about 18 to 24 inches apart in row, and your rows about 2 to 3 feet apart. Got my pepper plant right there at soil level. Remember, my potting soil is already moist. My container has holes for drainage. And that's pretty much all it is to planting the pepper. Now, a few things, you might have some weed problems. I would do a little bit of light hoeing. Don't want to get too deep and disturb the root system. Or my favorite is mulches. Grass mulches is one of my favorites because I like using the grass mulch. It creates that mat. It helps prevent the weeds as well as help preventing diseases. Just like our tomato plants, our pepper plants can get the same diseases like early blight and bacterial leaf spot, okay, because they are in the same family, the nightshade family, including eggplants and potatoes. So anything in the nightshade family, we should not be planting in the same spot for at least 3 years. Always do that crop rotation to help prevent diseases. Also, when I do have my plant for help prevent diseases, I like to get something called copper fungicide. Copper fungicide works well against bacterial leaf spot and against our fungus like early blight. So when we do spray your copper fungicides, it's important to make sure you get complete coverage on all the foliage, on top leaves and underneath the leaves. So you need that complete coverage to be effective. Also, a couple things, we might have a few insects. We look maybe for cutworms as well as hornworms. We've seen hornworms on our tomato plants, but we do get hornworms on our peppers. And most commonly, I see the tobacco hornworm with the diagonal stripes and the red horn versus the tomato hornworm. Your experience may be different, but I typically see the tobacco hornworm. Okay, when it comes to harvesting the tomatoes, we got just read the label. For this lady bell pepper, it says 72 days to maturity. It says it's going to ripen from green to red. So when it gets this nice big full green stage, feels kind of hollow, that's when I like to pick them, when they are at that green stage. But say if you're running behind in your garden, you come out and it's at that red, it's fine. It's good. It's still perfectly edible. Some things I like to do for my pepper plants as well is I like to put a cage in them, especially out in the garden. And in a situation in a container, maybe not, but in a cage, I notice a lot of times my pepper plants will start getting fruit on, they kind of fall over. So I do put a cage to help keep them upright, help them keep them off that ground, help keep them off that soil, and that helps prevent diseases. All right, and finally, once you do harvest, if you have like one of these lady bells here, if you have, a lot of people say, well, you got a male or female fruit pepper. And that, we're talking about the lobes on the bottom of the fruit. Some have 3 lobes, some have 4 lobes. And a male or female is a complete myth. There's no such thing as a male or female fruit. They all have seeds. It all are developed from the ovaries, and they all contain seeds after pollination. So they're all the same thing. It's just some develop into 3 lobes, some develop into 4 lobes. That's just the variety, and sometimes a growing condition can cause that. But with that, that is our peppers. At the end of the video, you'll see some links from resources to help you grow peppers in the home garden, and my email address is there as well. If you have any questions, please reach out, and good luck and enjoy your peppers this year.